MSR Drive. I've got Falco with me today. Falco, how are you doing?
Pretty good, man. Just chilling at my parents' restaurant right now doing the show. So
Oh,
getting ready to get
nice.
some
So I've got something special for y'all today. I have the one and only the voice of MSR.
And they're gonna call it fake! And they can play it! No! What a play! Oh my God!
Yep, that's him, Timbo. Timbo, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well, Cotton. Appreciate you all having me. Kind of surprised that you brought this to me, but I'm excited for this and glad you guys are doing this, man, because this is going to be some great stuff.
But we're having a blast doing it, and it definitely helps kill some time on my car ride home.
Yeah, I see that. I remember even bringing up the idea how, just the idea, just the word drive. To the person outside, it's like the MSR Drive. What is that? But to tie in, your commute to work and you commute home from work, and you using that time, up and back the freeway, to speak with guys around the league and get their insight on certain things, talk about league topics and stuff like that. I think that's pretty cool. So I'm super proud of you, and just thanks a lot for doing this.
Well, like I had sent you a message once before, but without Falco, none of this is possible. Dude has gave me everything I've needed to be able to make these videos and stuff. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, Falco's awesome too, my man. That's my man right there.
Yeah. Hey, anything for the MSR. We're all in it now.
Yeah, that's for sure. So we'll hit it off real quick. Timbo, how's the transition been, man?
Yeah, man. The transition's been cool. Again, to some of those that I've shared that to, but I'll bring it full to you guys now. It kind of came up super random. Just kind of got a message from Lenny. Then we got on a call and just pretty much told me, him and DK, kind of had talked about it. But he had kind of mentioned it and he said, hey man, things are a little bit different in my life and you're very hands-on, and I would like to, see MSR continue with the energy that we have, and I would like to see you kind of take the lead. And you guys know, man, I'm all about just having a lot of fun and doing some really cool stuff, especially with the content, and I just do it really just to have fun. So to kind of get that that extra tag from Lenny and him look at me in that light to kind of lead the way. It was humbling, to be honest with you, because this is a hobby, and again, the commissioner is just a title to some, as an admin, you're in the league, you play the game, you run some stuff, but you guys know, man, I really do a lot to make sure we all having a lot of fun and to just see, especially with the admin crew myself, it's not really about me, it's just the admin crew as well. But the transition, to really get to the point of your question, the transition it's been smooth. There were, just kind of, it's been more about the kind of, dotting the I's and crossing the T's, getting some of the things from Lenny that he took a lot of, interest in. Some of the accounts and things like that with Twitch and stuff like that. So just getting some of the information kind of downloaded into me so I can really push forward. But I'm excited. As you guys know, I'm really, especially with the announcing and hosting and stuff like that, I have a lot of energy towards this. And now that it's kind of been put on me and to really lead the way along with the rest of the crew, I'm excited to see what we all bring to the table when it comes to MSR.
Yeah, for sure. I know Falco's new into it, so but we, being here for a little bit longer than Falco, like you were just the driving force there, and I think it's well deserved. Nothing against any of the other admins, but I think it was well deserved for you. You have definitely put the work in.
Thank you, Cotton. I'm very selfless, man. I really don't like to, really pat myself on the back. Because if this may be something we come to later in the show, but just on a, just a playing type level, we all play we're in Madden and MSR because, at a ground level, we like to play Madden. We like to really, pick up our controllers and kind of, drift away from the day-to-day life that, things we go through, stresses, whatever was going on. But when you can put an extra little and we all know when you get in that Discord chat and in the league, stuff like that, it becomes its own world. So to have fun within that, kind of extension of the world and be able to put things together and ideas and see how creative people can be when we're just talking about video games and playing a football game, but the graphic, the ideas, the blogs, podcasts, as we're recording one right now. Just kind of, you open up your mind a little bit and imagine a little bit some things you can put together, and you have people that's like-minded in the same way, you can really put out a great product.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Falco,
Yeah.
anything you want to ask, man, or add onto that?
Yeah, just that's one driving force that really led me into this league. Was seeing all the content and everything, and from the outside looking in a couple months ago, when I was checking it out, I was like, man, this league's really cool, and I want to be a part of that. I've been really nerding out as far as all the content and everything getting into, coming to the the driving force of getting to this level.
I think we may have lost Falco. Did he break up on
man,
YouTube?
I'm just
He was in and out, but I heard he was
really
saying
cool
he was kind of pushing things
So,
forward. That's what he was saying.
Where it's headed. Yeah. Go, you guys go ahead. I'm losing a little bit of signal.
Yeah, if I could piggyback on that, because I think I caught the gist of it, but like you said, like Falco, if I can use this moment to kind of put MSR for at least for me and what it's been, what I would like to see, and just kind of the energy of the league right now. Falco would be someone I could highlight. Someone who's been in the community, maybe what we talking about, a couple months now. Falco, majority of the cycle, right? You've been around majority of the cycle. I say the last three and a half seasons in Genesis, and just his initiative. I've always been, especially just as a regular MSR member when I first joined to being in other leagues, I've always just been about what can I do to enjoy myself the most. Like, what can I do that contributes to the league, but something I do that I enjoy? And you guys know I like to write. I do blogs. I like to put, especially with Twitter, I do a lot of descriptive wording with my tweets and how I put words together, especially with promos, stuff like that. But I like the visual aspect, but I don't necessarily have the tools and necessarily the skill that people have with putting cool graphics and stuff together. So I network. I ask people who can give me ideas or give me help, or even maybe take my idea and put it on with their skill set. And you just try to maximize the most of what you can do, and you don't really you just try to do what you can to enjoy it. And Falco has literally starts from the beginning, just ask questions like, what could he do to be what could he do to contribute more, or what was the what's a way he could get himself a little bit more on the radar for MSR, because he saw a couple people go up past him in the Genesis call up list, and he just came to, hey, I have an idea for a podcast, and him and Ura just did it. Raw, uncut, did a test episode, everything, but they went and did it and worked out the kinks. And now, now it's pushed people to start doing other stuff because they see that, oh, I can do this too. I have a voice. And like you, Cotton, you came to me with the same idea. It's just like, I would love that. I like to lead by example. I don't really like to say, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's more about example, because this is what we do at the end of the day. I don't want to feel people to feel forced to have to, produce content and to be active. If you want to be in this league, to a certain extent, you should already be active. If you're in the MSR itself, you should already be accustomed to a certain level of activity. So now that more folks are getting involved and more folks are picking it up, it's just I think it's really just pushing us, especially with the downtime that we have, with everything with the quarantine. I think it's really pushing us in the right direction.
Yeah, no, I feel you there. So, that's kind of like the here and now. What do you think about the future of the league there, Timbo? Like some ideas on things that you're looking to bring to the table, maybe that are, just kind of, even if they're just in your head ideas or just something that you're actually working on right now?
Well, first thing is I want the community to be strong. That's where the future lies for me. The community itself has to be strong. We have a good blend, between Genesis and MSR. We have a good blend of folks that truly want to play good Madden football, under our rule set, with the, and everyone's idea of sim is different, but we try to set the standard for what we think is sim. We've had our, of course, amongst our league, you guys know, we've had our, bumps and bruises of what we think is sim, or what someone does is sim, or how they play, or they do this and that. But overall, I think we have a good, healthy group of players who have their back. Like for example, Cotton, you like to run a lot. You've had your, criticism about that, but we have folks who pass a lot. We have guys who throw for record seasons. We have guys who this year may be running for record seasons. But it just goes to show that over the cycle, people can develop, find out what they need to do. If they struggle at one thing, they can put some time in, lab in the off season, figure out, maybe I want to open up my offense a little bit more, or maybe I want to play more balance and slow things down. So it's all about building a strong community from the start. The rules, make sure everyone's being accountable. Everyone needs to be accountable to their rules. Let's not automatically push the button on someone else if we may get dinged on something on a user rule, or running the score up. It's about keeping everyone on the same lines. We all would like to have an idea where we can kind of run loose a little bit with the rules in certain aspects, but it's parameters. Not really we're trying to structure everyone to play a specific way. It's just parameters, so we don't lose ourselves and we still keep the community strong, where it's about sim football and just having a lot of fun. At the end of the day, that's what we're doing, having a lot of fun. If I can add on to one more point to that, Cotton, about the future, I see us being bigger, but again, it starts with the community, but it also starts with us being able to network and build relationships. That's another thing. I think this league we all can say I think we have a good group of folks that compete very well. We have guys that, who can struggle one season and then next season they're 10-6, 11-5, and then the playoffs making runs. I mean, it goes to show that, anything can happen. The ball can bounce the wrong way, and ability can mess you up, and, you can get mossed on a 4th and 3. That's the last play of the game. And next thing you know, it makes your season look different because, that was a big game and you needed the W, but it's all about, again, at the end of the day, yes, you can get frustrated. We could take those L's, but it's all about having fun and show respect to your opponent. Let's just keep it cordial. We all, and the thing, Cod, this more than anything, how much fun are you having this year that things are taking off for Joey Johnson, right? Like even Falco, he it seems that he's having, even though he's maybe lost more than he wanted to this year, he's having a lot of fun being able to figure out, where he needs to get better, or, man, I probably knew I was going to lose this game, but I probably could have made a better pass here, or I could have done this a little bit different, in the second quarter that kind of led to kind of the snowball effect. So to see guys really, whether you win or lose, to still be, kind of having that same amount of fun that we were having, I think, towards the end of last cycle. And now, we're repairing some things, but I think we're full force ready to go to what's coming down the stretch this cycle and moving on to Madden 21.
I agree, man. And what you said about fun, I don't know if Falco's connection got any better, but I know he's having a blast with Hines. Me and him have talked about that a couple times behind closed doors. And, dude, JJ3K is
we went from JJ2 MVP to JJ3K.
I stole both of those from Falco, by the way. Oh Lord. So you kind of said something about like parameter wise, like like the rules are set to keep everybody like inside of a certain, like in a bubble.
What I'm almost in a certain bracket where we're not going too far, but we're still allowed to do the same things and have a lot of fun, right?
So any hints or, like a tease of anything any changes that may come this off season?
You already trying to get under the hood. You're already trying to get under the hood and figure out what we're doing, with the brain trust of the crew. Well, first off, before I get to that, I just want to shout out my guys, DK and Sonny. And before that, I also want to give a shout out to Lenny, as I did earlier. He really I always shouted him out on broadcast, things like that. For him giving us the space to do the things that we do, because Lenny isn't really he's not the vocal one. He's not the one that's going to be on the broadcast. He's not going to want to really kind of be out in the front. He liked to lead from and let his team, the guys that he kind of delegated to, lead for him. And that's a big part of leadership. Sometimes delegation and knowing what you're good at and empowering the others around you is just as important as being the one that's the face. But with Lenny, he took the back seat, and for him to recognize, for himself, there was no pressure from anyone, from what I understand, just for him to, be able to come up with the idea, like, look, I'm doing things a certain way. The cycle has changed. He's been very vocal about how he felt about this particular Madden, and to see the energy going in another way, where he sees kind of guys that are really being more, proactive in certain areas. He was like, let me kind of empower these guys. And for him to give that kind of key to me and pass the crown on to the guys to be able to take forward, I'm super happy that with DK, Sonny, two different personalities, but guys that really, we try to always be on the same page. And now with the 3-man room, we're figuring things. We're tinkering with things, guys. I will give you that. We're tinkering with some things. We've been talking about, especially the conversation in the chat recently has been about the abilities. We've talked a lot about, things. I know there's some issues with man zone. Guys had thought about, why we set such a hard cap on 70-30. We were 80-20 before. I'm trying to think. What's something else I can give you guys? A big breadcrumb. What's a breadcrumb I can give you guys? You know, we're looking at something on the offensive side. I'll say that we're looking at doing some things where we still looking to get back to that M19 type of flow where the rule set was straight. Everyone didn't have a problem with it. I think it was when we kind of opened up everything this past the last all season of the cycle coming in at Madden 20, and I think that really it helped us in some ways. I think the fourth down rule was great. I really think it opened up some creativity on offense, especially for possession by possession. But I also think that along with a couple other changes really just allowed things to be blown wide open, and it just caused some friction and some unnecessary tension and energy that we didn't need at the time. And we've been kind of repairing that part, and I'll be completely transparent about that. The reboot completely bothered me. If I've said that enough, I'll say it right now because we're gonna put this to bed today here on the drive for you, Cotton. The reboot completely it baffled me. It completely baffled me. And this is not I'm not, we're not going to bring too much to it, but it baffled me only because the momentum was great. Like the momentum was great. And because we had to kind of start over and figure some things out, and then it just put people on different sides of the room in terms of the league. Like guys were just on one side of the fence and people on the other, and people were being petty. You guys were, I mean, look, we're gonna be honest. If people were being petty, we were clipping guys because they didn't like something that they said. It was just being unnecessary. But I think now we put those things to bed. We've really repaired as a whole community from Genesis, now being super full and super active, and we got a call up list of 7 guys right now. You know what I mean? Like 7 guys who can honestly choose from that have been consistent and active. Now we're at a point where it's like, okay, let's just be accountable. Let's just focus. But with the rules, I just see us being more getting back to that balance, completely balanced where we are. I think we're close to that. But we're doing some things on the offensive side. I think you guys would be very, very interested. I'll say it's not because of you, Cotton. Before I say this, it's not because of you. But it is something on the run side. It is something on the run side that we're looking at. It was even before the crazy season of Joey Johnson. It was something that we looked at. People have been bringing ideas to us for the last couple of seasons on this. So we're really going to sit down at the table, especially with the transition that's happened, with Lenny retiring. We're really going to sit down and really come up with some good votes and try to see how we can keep things moving in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure. No, dude, I appreciate it, and no, and I understand, and I feel the same way as you do. The reboot kind of put me down. I was like, because I was on such a good spot, and then it just kind of was like undo.
I mean, look. Let's talk about. Sorry to cut you off, but let's just speak. Like, for example, let's highlight you. Like, you were what 4-0, 5-0. At the beginning of the first season, you had Nick Chubb. You made that trade with Sonny to get Nick Chubb. He had the arm bar. I mean, you were going crazy with your run game. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much how you are now with Joey Johnson. You were starting to be that early on with Nick Chubb and the crew. And then the reboot happened. And then, of course, because of that, then people didn't want to do those same trades anymore around the league. Guys didn't want to go through the same trades. People had, buyer's remorse. And it just again, that was a part of it. Like guys not following through with certain things. And even I reneged on the trade because I was like, I see people are going to just open up and not really abide by, these agreements that we had. So it was just like, it was a free for all for a good month or so of guys just kind of figuring out what's going on. And, but I will say, not really because of me, but just the whole crew really just coming together. Like, how can we remedy this? We had guys leave. We lost about 6 or 7 guys in like 2 weeks at one point. You know what I mean? Like guys were really upset. And, we just had to repair. We had to take our lumps from that. We had to really own that for one. We had to really own that, that was kind of a slip up. And then at that point, I was asked to become an admin. I wasn't really campaigning. I was just asked, and then from that point, I was like, hey, you guys looked at me for a reason. Let me show you what I can bring to the table. And from this point forward, it's just been, guys have looked. So I've never campaigned for these things. It's just people have kind of respected the fact that, I do what I can for the league. I want to win. Look, I've been struggling this cycle. It's been grinding my gears and not be as successful as I've been in cycles past. But this, if there's anything that's been consolation, is the respect and the fun that I've kind of had to regenerate for myself after the reboot, because I was out of it, guys. And I'll break this here. I was almost out of the league. I almost left. I was really upset with what was going on at that time, and it bothered me. But to see where we are today and to be like, man, Tim wanted to lead the league is like, you wouldn't believe it. But it just goes to show how, if you believe in something, if you really feel like you're a part of something good, you're going to do what you can to kind of incorporate yourself and make it better. And I think that's something that we did. And having you two, guys that are really pushing, I'd say pushing the battery for me to keep me going. Falco doing the things he's doing. Congratulations to you. He's got some things going with Anchor now. Getting our New Dawn, sponsored. MSR Drive kicking off. This is the third or fourth episode, I think. I mean, it's just good to see guys that see what you do, and then also find out, okay, I can do the same thing, and let me find out how I can keep the ball rolling on my end. And I like that, and I appreciate you guys for that.
No, dude, we appreciate you too, and thank you. The only thing I have to say is, I actually went out and got Zeke, and then got Chubb on the restart.
Oh, okay. It was okay. It was Zeke. Okay, I thought it was Chubb. At first. But I remember Chubb was that first season. Chubb was still balling though, right?
And he was on Sonny's team the first season. I don't know how much he used it.
Okay. I had it different then. I just remember Chubb going crazy. I thought it was under your jersey.
Now, I did trade for Chubb after the restart, and then he kept getting hurt, so I just sent him on.
Okay, maybe that. Okay. I have my wires are big crossed on that one. I just knew you had Chubb and he was cooking.
Yeah, he was nice. So another big thing that I feel like you have been a huge part of, the showdown success.
Yes. Man. MSR Prime. Well, originally you guys know it was MSR Primetime before. It was a very moving show. If there's a way I can kind of describe it to you guys, it was a moving show. We were figuring things out. We were probably as strong as we were last cycle in Madden 19. Our former network director at the time, he was really, he's hands on with the graphics, doing a lot of things. He was coming up with ideas, and it helped that he and I were really, and we still are to this day, good friends, like people that would talk to each other, and we would just bounce ideas off each other and figure things out. But what was interesting about the change and how we got from primetime to showdown over the years was, over the last 2 cycles, I should say, was we were missing a void. Like, it was something that we were missing. Like, the viewership was a little bit low. We weren't consistent with the promotions, and you guys know I do a lot of the promotions within the league. So I had to take fault for that because I wasn't being as active in that regard. And that's crazy to say because I do a lot of different stuff, but I wasn't being consistent, like setting the times and doing this and doing that. And then we would just, people, times wasn't available for everyone. People weren't on the same schedule. So it was hard to get consistent producing, consistent, commentating. And, when we didn't have a host like that, I would say this now. I'm not gonna say I hate it. It's not my first thing to do is to be a host because it's just, I have to be the front. And I don't always like to be the first person you hear all the time. That's just how I am. I like to be in the back, kind of lay cool. But, it got a chance to show my personality. As you guys get to see, I get a little wild. Sometimes it sounds like I'm talking like right into the mic. Like the mic is almost, in my esophagus sometimes because I'm so excited about the play that's going on. But, it just goes to show like how much fun you can have, when you kind of lose yourself in the moment. I catch myself in, even in my house, it's just how loud or how, I may echo off the walls because I see a big play. I'm like, oh, like I'm legit excited. That's the thing. I'm not making this up. I'm not doing this just for MS. Or like I legit get excited about these plays because it's cool to do something like this, and it feels like you're in the booth. It feels like you're right there in the heat of the action, and you're calling the plays. And you look back and see some of the clips and these videos that we've been doing recently. He's like, man, that's my voice right there. Like I remember that play. I remember talking about that. And to give you guys my personality and to be able to get the help that we have, people like Kylo, has really stepped up on the network. Tom, and Tom is going to be back on the network now. He has some stuff going on that kept him out of being able to produce for us, but he's now back in the chat and he'll be back production. Joey's been an X factor for us over the last few weeks, being able to step up and help out when Kylo has been busy. Who else am I thinking missing? Sonny's been around, he's looking to get back in the mix. J-Rod has helped at different points. Ura has jumped in the mix this cycle and commentated. I think Franklin has had a game or two. I really don't want to think I'm missing somebody. But just the whole team, like just just everything that we've been doing, it helps that when people are able to give you the kind of the backups, and it's all about getting the best games out. I want to show more of what we got going on in the league. I don't always show, we see a lot of Chiefs and Browns games, but I like to get the Patriots on there. I like to get the Jets on there. I like to get I like to get the Raiders on there. I like to get, the Vikings, who stepped up this year. I like to get different teams on, different users on, so we can really connect with, our growing viewership. So other leagues that are watching us, or just a regular Joe Smo who may be checking us out while he's on a lunch break in construction, he can see, hey, I've seen Cotton and that Joey Johnson. I got to tune in for that. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of, I want to build that. And actually that kind of goes back to the future of the MSR. I want to have, like, where we're connected by our user, like our users can connect to people. So, people are looking forward to hearing me on Prime on Showdown, then cool. People are looking forward to New Dawn podcast and hearing Falco. That's great. Or I'm looking forward to seeing Pride play this week because I know he plays a certain way. Or I know J Rod's going to bring a Kylo. This person Tom DK. Like, I want to have so where we're connecting with people that are watching us. And it's like they know what they're getting from our product. And of course that's going to come with a lot of hard work and networking and building those relationships. But I feel that we have the crew that can do that, and we're just getting going with a lot of the content and activity we have now.
Oh, for sure, dude. And the one thing about the group, and I feel like, I know you all don't, I know it doesn't go unnoticed for you all, but whenever you mention like Joey helping with you all on, like production and stuff, I don't think people realize how much like goes into the scheduling stuff that he does too, and makes it nice and clean and neat.
Yeah. So with the scheduling, it's it can be tricky. So I'll give you an example. So let's say for this period of time, we've been dealing with the coronavirus and stuff like that. So we've been at home a lot more and been able to do more stuff. So last week or 2 weeks ago, we had like a string of days where we had showdowns for I think 4 or 5 straight days, and it helped that Kylo was home because he would just tell me, hey, look, I go to work late at night, but if you can get a game up before 4 o'clock. If you can get a game scheduled for 1-2 p.m., I got you. We can get a production up. If you want to host, I'll commentate with you. And it helps too because I don't always like to do it solo. So he'll jump in and, hey, I'll comment. I'll give you some color, color commentary as well while he's producing the game and make sure we're looking and sounding good. So it's just good to have someone like that. Joey does that from time to time. Like, he'll commentate and he'll also help us produce. Tom has done that where he'll just produce for us and make sure, everyone sounds good. And it's crazy because it really sounds like a real live production. Like, Kylo may be quiet while me and Joey are producing, but he's talking to us, but you guys can't hear him. Like, he's talking to us, telling, hey, Tim, you sound a little bit too low. You might want to, speak up a little bit, or hey, you might be a little bit ahead of the broadcast. Slow up a little bit so they can catch up with you. It just gives us that real good feel of a whole audio video type production. And this is kind of like the behind the stuff that no one really catches out. Like, we've been trying to incorporate more of a pre-show. So me, him, and DK, when we have like a 15-20 minute pre-show. We kind of talk about different stats or nuances, stuff that people don't talk about. Like, hey, this running back has looked good over the last 3 games, but he struggles when he plays in division. Like, stuff like that, where it adds to the broadcast. It adds to what people are seeing, where they're getting kind of feedback. Where, like, am I listening to Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, or is this Timbo and Joey? Like, it gives you that like kind of feel. It's like, man, I see people say, they call me Romo, they call Kylo Romo. It's just like it gives that fun appeal where you're tuning in for 45 minutes to an hour of a good broadcast. You're getting sometimes some comedy, especially with guys in the chat at times. You get shout outs. People feel that they're included in the broadcast. I just want everyone to feel a part of the show, and I feel like we've been doing that a lot more over the last couple months.
Yeah, I agree, man.
For sure.
Yeah. What? I guess. You got anything just to leave us on there?
Yeah. I mean, you guys have really let me talk, and I appreciate that. I try not to ramble so much, but I'm so used to it. First off, as I said before, I just want to thank you guys. Falco and Cotton. You two have really, especially over this last month or so with kind of the transition, and I think there's almost been like an injection of another bolt of energy throughout the whole league, where guys are just producing at a whole nother level. And I think we kind of got over that hangover a bit of the of the reboot. I think it's finally kind of like gone away, and I think I've tried to put it to bed here on the broadcast, but just really moving past that, like kind of getting that funk of 2 or 3 seasons of things just kind of being in limbo, and now we know. Like I think maybe the transition was kind of needed in some way, and again, I'm not pushing it because I didn't know it was coming, but just how it all came about. Like maybe it was just maybe it was kind of for the league to kind of get over certain things. Maybe it was just for us to kind of push forward, and I'm excited, man. As I said before, I see big things coming. We had a very spirited chat this morning in one of our channels about, just what is the future of the league? What is the goal of MSR? What are we trying to accomplish? If I could speak on that before I get out of here today, guys. I would say, when I got into this and being in MSR, I was coming from a league where I won't mention, where if anything, they taught me what it meant to really produce quality stuff. Like, what it was like to really be in the league and like actually put the extra effort into like enjoying yourself in the league. I didn't know what really immersion leagues and what that was, but if you pick out what the word immersion is, you tied it to a Mad League. It's like, okay, you're just doing a little bit more. Like you're not just playing the game. Like you're putting, perspectives in, profile, whatever. As I've gotten more involved in MSR, I've brought the things that I always thought would be, if I just kind of dreaming, like if I had my own league, what would it be? You know what I mean? And I think now, again, it's kind of I still see it as it all happened by accident, because I just did not expect to get the message that I got from Lenny. And I'm at a point now where it's just like, what can I do to make sure everyone feels like they're having fun no matter what's going on? Because no one really wants to be in a chat, be on their controller, and have to deal with drama. Like we have enough drama, especially today and what's going on right now. We have enough drama to deal with. There's no need to bring unnecessary, BS and just nonsense into the league. So what we can do to maximize that, right? And I always thought about doing a podcast, but I always felt like whenever I thought of it, I was stretching myself too thin, because I'm doing broadcasting, or I'm doing my blogs, or I'm tweeting this, and I still got to play the game at times, so it's kind of hard to do that all in 24 hours. But to see people like Falco and Ura and DK doing highlight videos, and we got people like T Wayne helping, and Heartless doing great. Like it just shows that we all have reach in different ways, and it's not just about me. That's another thing. If there's anything I notice more, it's not about me. It never has been. I never looked at it that way. But when you run a league, it's never about you. It's about your vision, but it's about who can help you get your vision out there. And I think I'm at a point now. The vision I have is for us to be as big as we can be. Market. I want us to have. I'll think about ideas for merch. You know what I mean? I want us to all feel a part of something that was like, I don't want us getting tattoos or anything, but I want us to be like, I want us to feel like something we have that's ours. Like, I'm a part of something. It feels like, just a true community, a true bond of people that, we're in Tennessee, like Cotton, or, I'm in DC, people in California, people in Texas, you know what I mean? Like we all connected once we pick up our phone and play a game, you know what I mean? And it's fun to bring that kind of aspect to it when you kind of break it all down. It's like it all starts from us picking up our controller and our phones or laptops, and then we're connected for however many hours a day that we want to, connect. And I think, how can we make that as fun as possible every day? And that's what I try to do. I just try to put as much good content, or facilitate, or help, or produce as much good for the league, so we can have as much fun every day. That's the dream.
No, dude, I feel you, and it hits the nail on the head right there for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And I want to say I appreciate you giving us your time today. I'm going to leave us something. I've been doing the COVID speech at the end. I'm going to leave y'all with something a little bit different today. As you all know, a couple of weeks ago, we found my stepdad dead. Where I'm going with that is the other day, actually ended up rereading over his obituary. I just want to put out there that, sometimes we argue and stuff in chat. Life is fragile, y'all. There's it really is. Appreciate who's around you. Use this time of not being able to go out to really just spend some quality time with your family members, your kids, your wife, your significant other, your parents, your grandparents, if you got them. Put the phone down for a little bit, put the electronics down, and just spend some quality time with them, because you really don't know when somebody's not going to be there anymore.
Man, this 19 is not playing around. I'm sure Falco can speak to this, and Cotton, you as well. You know, we're all fathers. We have our extended families as well, and you just I feel like every day I'm picking up my phone, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Like, wow, that's crazy. Like, geez, like I feel like I'm saying it every day. It's like a new piece of information that's coming out. So it's just making you want to hold on more to who you got with you. Just again, just stay safe. If I can piggyback off Cotton, just stay safe. Keep, if you're spiritually connected, keep yourself high up with that. You know what I mean? Find things that keep you as upbeat as possible. There's a lot of negativity out here right now, but just lock in on something that keeps you smiling.
Yeah. And yeah, for sure, man. And I really appreciate you being on with us, guys, and enjoying episode 3 with us on the drive. And we'll catch you all probably on Sunday again. Me and Falco's got something good planned for Sunday. So we'll see you all again later Sunday evening. And Timbo, thanks again for joining us, man.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.